Hello, Dusty.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Nothing.
Just the same thing I always say.
Memorial Day.
Yeah, which we'd like to, BHP, we'd like to recognize those that have paid the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom.
For sure.
It's definitely a special day. And thank you to those currently serving. I know that's not what today's about, but you know, being willing to make the ultimate sacrifice is an important part of us keeping our freedom. So thank you from all of us here.
For sure. 100%.
Getting to the meat of this thing, we've got it's actually a 417 if you want to do the exact math on it. And the reason that it's a 417, this motor was built previously by someone else. Don't even know really exactly who or which shop, it doesn't matter. It was a rod piston motor and it knocked.
All the time.
From the time it was built, apparently, it knocked. And the customer was told, you know, that's going to do that and this or that. And no, obviously they're not supposed to knock. So we went through it, and the thrust surface on the crankshaft in the center where the thrust bearing rides is completely eaten off. It was just destroyed. The crank was not salvageable. Of course, the thrust bearing was eaten completely up. But so at that point, hey, you need a crankshaft, right? Well, the machine work on the bores were tapered also. So they were bigger at the bottom than they were at the top. There was just a lot of stuff that wasn't correct. So
this car was on the channel too previously.
It was, right? And it didn't make the power. It didn't make the power that it should have. We knew it didn't.
It didn't.
You know, and so anyway, if you got to buy a piston and you got to buy a crankshaft, you might as well put a 4-inch stroke in it, right? The rods were good. They were salvageable. Nothing was wrong with those. So
cam was good.
The cam was good. So we did a 4-inch stroke. The bore needed 5 thousandths more to clean up. So we did have to do 4075 pistons. We had to order a set of those. So that's where you get the 417. It's not.
And that's okay on all motor setup. If you were blowing it or supercharging it, you probably wouldn't want that.
Yeah, for sure. Still plenty of meat for the power we're making. We wouldn't advise that if you were going to do forced induction or any power out or anything, but this is going to be super happy. It's going to love it, and it has. Obviously, just keeping the crankshaft from grinding into the thrust bearing picked up a bunch of power. It doesn't knock. It runs really, really well. And this is the Redhot cam, which is what we had in it before. That's when he brought it originally. He was told it was lifters. He said, I want to do lifters. You know, we told him, that's not really lifters. Just do lifters in the cam. He was cool with it. Of course, it still knocked. But anyway, Cook's long tubes through cats. It does have cats and
GXP mufflers.
GXP mufflers, yeah. Then this is a GXP.
Yep, it is a true GXP.
Automatic car. We did a torque converter also. It had a 4DP in it, single disc, which they don't offer anymore for the 6L80s. And we were having some issues with the old dyno pulls with it unlocking under wide open throttle on the dyno. So he decided, hey, let's get something a little tighter. We went with the 3DX and multi-disc lockup. So no problems.
Some of his things with this one as well is he wanted a tighter converter anyway, just for drivability. He's driving it more.
Yeah.
And he doesn't like the loose converter feeling. That's fine if that's not what you like. Yep. And that's another reason why we didn't think about changing the cam.
That's right.
Because in a bigger motor, the Redhot's going to be even more tame than it would be in the...
And we're picking up quite a bit of torque with the stroke, so that's really going to lend more to a tighter converter anyway with what he does. So
yeah, I think it come through really well.
It definitely did. And then you want to do the numbers?
Yeah, sure. All right, it started out at, this is the 432 is the old motor on 93.
I know that was really loud. Hold on, let me get this microphone fixed.
It's all good. Hey,
we're new.
We're new, yeah.
Start over.
Then it did 443 on E85.
So 432 was the old motor with the Redhot on 93.
Yep. Gotcha. 443 was the old motor with the Redhot on E85.
Which we know, if you've watched the channel, it does have, they did a little something to the heads also.
It should do a little more than that, I would think, especially with a 6.2.
We don't know 100% who did them, but they have been worked on a little bit. So yeah, a 6.2 with heads, rod piston motor, and a Redhot made 443 on E85. If you've watched the channel, you know that these make...
On E85, this car should make about 500, and it made...
Yeah.
500!
So let's answer everybody's question right now. Like, what have I got to do to get 500? Well, there's a lot of ways to get there.
If you want to stay on motor, this is a very good way.
This is a very good way and a very tame way. This is not a radical combination. You know the Redhot is very friendly on the street manner side of things.
I don't believe the heads are, I'm not saying you could do it on bone stock heads, but I don't think you would have to do a ton to your heads to get this power
I don't
level
either. I mean, you'd be so close. You know, if you're just number chasing, you know, you might miss it a little
Stock
bit. But
throttle body. I don't even.
Stock intake, stock throttle body.
Not even a rod mod intake?
Nope. Stock mass airflow sensor. I don't believe it's a rod mod. I don't remember doing that.
Yeah, stock intake, stock throttle body, and a stock mass airflow.
Sorry about that if it is, but I don't believe it is.
No, that's a really good combo. So yeah, you're right. If you have any engine damage, make it a stroker, put the same cam you would in a 6.0 or a 6.2, and just pick up tons of power.
We definitely could have picked up more power in this range up here and made more power with a larger camshaft, something a little more radical. The 400 plus cubic inch cam that BTR has works really well. But once again, you know,
and that just
catering it to what he does, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't want something that he's got to spin to the moon to get the power out of. This thing makes 500 horsepower, and it's a Redhot on a stroker motor. It drives great. And
look at the torque difference. It made 405, 419 before. It's making 492 foot-pounds of torque.
Yeah, and if you go certain places in the graph and look beyond the peak box, you know, right here, it was making 418 torque before on the 85. It's making 491 right here.
That's huge.
So, you know,
over 70.
And then,
well, even right there, even if you put about here-ish, it'd be a real good gain.
Yeah, and the horsepower here, 441 to 500. So you picked up 60 horsepower. And again, that's some cubic inches, which some people say it doesn't pick up horsepower. Yes, it does. Cubic inches pick up horsepower.
This is the perfect example of that because everything is the same. Yeah. Heads, cam, intake, throttle body, mass airflow.
Literally just cubic inches and
a fresh build.
You're taking a little drag off the crankshaft because it's not.
Probably.
It ate just completely into that.
That right there shows is exactly where I would want to be with this motor. Our 500 was our high goal too. Yeah. Because it's not a radical cam.
And that's a trigger number for people.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I want 500.
Before we head off this one, show us what that STD number is.
Oh yeah.
That can probably be what, 510 or so?
You know it's going to be 2%, so it should be 510.
Yeah, you're right.
But let's check it because you know people give different sheets. Yep. We'll round it up.
Yep, 510, 501 torque. And this is what I see. I see this probably what, 70% of the times when people post down numbers? Yeah. So yeah, you're going to be able to post, hey, what's my car make? I got a Redhot and it made 510. Yep. They're going to be like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's right.
But it did.
And it sounds great. It drives great. It's got cats on it. Like, this through cats. There's a lot of things you can do if you're, off-road only.
Yep.
But yeah.
And Dusty got a pool.
It's awesome. I think he'll be super happy with it. We're happy with it.
Yep. And we may track tune this one as well. So that should give us some 10-second numbers.
We track tuned it last time.
Yeah.
Well, on the current motor. Yeah.
And it was doing all right, but we knew it had more in it.
Yeah.
But anyways, I appreciate it, and we will be back with some more soon.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.